Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another electrifying episode of Desi Dynamos, stories of Indian-American trailblazers, and you are in season one. Today we have a guest whose life story is a masterclass in visionary leadership, cultural preservation, and global impact. Get ready. I didn't warn you, because you are about to dive into the incredible journey of a man who not only transformed the corporate landscape, but became a beacon of hope and inspiration for the Indian diaspora worldwide. We are honored to introduce Shri Anand Kuchibhotla, the founder of SiliconAndhra and the driving force behind countless initiatives that have shaped the future of Telugu language, Indian arts, and education across the globe. From his groundbreaking work in launching Manabadi, a Telugu school with over 85,000 students across 35 United states, to establishing the first Indian art university on American soil. Boy, I'm getting goosebumps. Anand Garu's contributions are nothing short of revolutionary. But that's not all. Anand Garu is a man whose vision transcends beyond the boundaries. He's brought Indian culture and humanitarian causes together in a way that have created jobs, empowered communities, and preserved ancient traditions for the future generations. Whether it's just through building the Sanjeevani Hospital for the underprivileged villages in Andhra Pradesh, or recreating platforms like Sampada, SAMPADA, to bring Indian music and dance into the mainstream education in the United States. Anandji's impact is felt across the continents and oceans. What makes Sri Anand truly remarkable is his ability to blend tradition with modern innovation. From holding Guinness Book record breaking events to uniting global Telugu communities through technology, his work stands as a testament to the power of cultural pride and forward thinking leadership. Truly, man a leader. So, if you are here to learn about leadership with a purpose, hear about the preservation of Indian heritage in the digital era, or simply to be inspired by a true Desi dynamo, today's episode is going to leave you speechless. Without much ado, let's give a warm welcome to our own brother, the great Indian, the trailblazer himself, Sri Anand Kuchibhotla. Namaskaram, sir, and welcome to the studios of Meenamma. How do you feel today, sir?
Meenakshi Garu, Namaskaram. Thank you very much for such wonderful, kind words. Very excited to speak with you. After watching other episodes, I feel honored and privileged to be part of the great Meenamma show.
Thank you, sir. మిమ్మల్ని చూసి ఎలాగుంటదండి? I feel I'm talking to somebody who's like a Padma Shri for me, a Bharat Ratna, sir. The kind of work you've done. Some of our brothers and sisters who have added to the Indian diaspora, and I think the Telugus have a very loud voice when I say diaspora in US. You are a kingmaker. You have made the Telugus the pride of the state and the country, and even the US cannot ignore the fact that the Telugus are the brightest of all. So today, I want to take you down memory lane because it's an opportunity for me to share with my younger audience the true story of a real legend and a hero, and that's what you are to us. You started your life in Machilipatnam. You had a very unconventional education. You learned Sanskrit and Vedic studies rather than going to the academy of curriculum, the regular stuff. How did this story start and impact you to become what you are today? Tell us the story of a little boy from Machilipatnam.
My father, Sivaramakrishna Sarma, my mother, Satyabhama. I'm born and brought up in a lower middle class family. My father was a mathematics lecturer in a local college, but he believed from the very beginning in the Indian traditions, in Indian Dharma, to sum it up like in Sanatana Dharma. We are three children to our parents. I'm the eldest one. I have a sister and a brother. Somehow my father thought, and I don't know what he did, I wanted to experiment on me. So I got the Upanayanam, the so-called thread marriage, done at the age of 8, and with a tonsured head and with Sikha, like in Telugu is called Pelaka. I was sent to Kanchi Kamakoti Sankaramatham to learn Vedam from Sri Narayana Ghanapati Garu. Dad told me, you just go and do it. At the same time, my sister and brother were going to the regular school. I used to take the lunch carriage to their schools after my Veda Patham. I had never been to a school in my life. I wrote the matriculation exam of Andhra University and then entered straight the intermediate at plus 2 level in a college. Given the dharana that I learned and given the Sanskrit that I learned from at the same time, as a home educated person in those days, I don't have good people skills. But over a period of time, even though home educated, my father exposed me in the local area, started grooming me as a leader. And in those days, don't know anything about the leader, pulling all the friends to celebrate Ugadi, pulling all the friends to present Sri Krishna Anjaneya Yuddham, a play. So those are the things that connected. It was when I look back, he dared to experiment on me. Generally, you don't experiment on a kid's life, but he experimented, and even though he's not here with us today, I'm sure he's proud that his experiment has been successful.
Yes,
In,
there is no doubt. There is no doubt at all. You're a shining beacon, and your father betted on the right horse. Every parent understands what they have created, and his confidence must have come from the fact that you were different. You must have been a spark, sir, right from childhood. Growing up in Machilipatnam, a town that is so steeped in tradition and culture, how did your surroundings and your upbringing, apart from dad's, absolute confidence on you, uh, since you did not have a normal childhood, you were very different. How did that affect your mind? How did you think? What was India to you? What was Andhra Pradesh? What was Telugu to you from childhood?
See, when I was kind of getting homeschooled, I have a teacher who taught me English. I used to go to his home, Inguva Raghavarao Garu. Uh, I could write a decent English today because of his blessings. And then I had a Telugu teacher, uh, Tangirala Jayalakshmi, and she taught me Telugu. In those days itself, she told me about Manucharitra, uh, Gayopakyanam. So some of those, the seeds that stayed with me. When I went into the school, and means like an intermediate level, suddenly I found something that was not part of my life: the literary activities, cultural activities, dramatic activities, the sports in the college. So there was some kind of, I feel now when I look back, suppressed feelings that I was missing all these, not being part of a regular school. So I focused on a lot of those things everywhere in the college. I was part of that. And Machilipatnam, as you rightly said, is a big cultural and literary center. Lot of stalwarts from Mutnuri Krishna Rao Garu to Vishwanath Satyanarayana Garu to Madhurantakam Rajaram Garu to even for some extent the Tirupati Venkata Kavulu have the association with that town. So that definitely rubs on you. We have a Mutnuri Krishnaraya Puramandiram doing a program in the town hall. Still today, I feel it was like pretty prestigious. All those people surrounding me, attending some literary events and all, made a significant impact. I never had an idea what I will be doing in my life. I feel I'm a chosen one. I'm
Yeah.
chosen one. Machilipatnam, we fondly call it as Bandar. We all the people from Bandar, we call it as the Bandar is the center of the universe.
Yes, yes, sir. In Hindi, bandar means monkey. And in a spiritual manner, bandar is your mind. Your mind plays monkey sometimes and takes you to paths unknown. And that's exactly what Anand Garu has done. He brought out the Bandar inside him that was created in a city called Bandar. It's so fascinating to see how this monkey has come forward and led the tribe. So you completed your masters in the Andhra University, my alma mater too. I'm so proud to be a part of Andhra University, where you later became a lecturer. You actually taught in the university. How did your experience as a student and then later as an educator in India shape your leadership thought for empowering future generations? Because the story did not end in your country. So, how did that foundation, as a teacher, as a student in the university, how did it take you across? So, what was that foundation?
I was doing my master's in econometrics in Andhra University. First year was a go lucky kind of student. At the end of the first year, my father, who was a yoga practitioner, doesn't have any vices, regular tennis player, suddenly uh, diagnosed with a brain tumor, and we lost him in just 6 months. So the entire family's world suddenly turned upside down. I have a younger sister and brother, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather died 6 months before. Suddenly, I became the elder to take care of the family. And then I was looking for a job, need to go like, somewhere else with a small salary, taking care of the family is not possible. So then it so happened a lecturer position was available in the same college where I studied my BSc. It was the strangest of the strange things in my life. In India, if you know, the students make fun of the lecturers with their initials, they are called, and that initials have their own abbreviations. When I was doing my undergrad, I proclaimed several times, I will tell in Telugu, అడుగుతున్నైనా తింటా కానీ నేను లెక్చరర్ ఉద్యోగం చేయను అని చెప్పి. And the God and fate has it that I have to come back to my native town and become a lecturer in the same college where I was a student just 2 years before. Imagine becoming a lecturer at the age of 21. uh, Given my physical personality, there are students whom I have to see like this, and I'm supposed to teach the economics classes that are part of the CEC and BCom. The science students have little more discipline than compared to these people, because there are some practicals and all. The first day when I went there, I could not even stand in front of the class with the worry of my legs will be shaking. There are 90 students in the class, and I went to the class after they joined the college, so I'm a new bakra for them. They're waiting for to really make fun of me. By God's grace, and we call Amma Palakatam, like, with the Saraswati Kataksham, that class I started and stopped at the 55th minute. And the first day itself, I received the claps from the students. Then I decided that as God given all the intellect, instead of teaching them, I need to mold the personalities of these students also. For the 4 years I worked in that college, I feel that was the golden age of my life, because I influenced those very young, impressionable minds, and several of them, I feel confident, guided them, not losing their track. Still, when I go them, they're all, some of them in very good positions, some of them are in some businesses. They still call me Master. Uh, that is a biggest honor. And when I was leaving to come to United States to go to graduate program, I boarded the train in Machilipatnam. About 200 students boarded the same train to come out to Vijayawada, and distributed sweets to all the passengers in the train, that their they put a banner, Bahumukha Pragnasali. So earning the students' love is the most beautiful thing, I believe, most beautiful thing. And still today, I take every opportunity to go and spend time with the young students wherever I get a chance.
You just brought a tear to my eye. I can just imagine how powerful that 21-year-old boy was. So that 21-year-old boy from Machilipatnam, he started a journey in leadership very early. And you got it right. It was not about the curriculum. It was about changing the attitude and, the personality of the people God had given in front of you. Later, you become a global leader, from you have a strong impact even today. And from a small boy, a lecturer in a small village, you go on to become a global cultural visionary. That's what people talk about you as today. You are extraordinary. I mean, you have always been extraordinary. But looking back, Anand Garu, were there specific moments? I'm sure this moment of the train journey, or people from your early days that inspired you. See, there has to be some spark. Your father was there in your head all the time, but after he left, who inspired you to think of, guiding you towards a path that you're in today? Today, you're in a very big role, and this could not have happened without guidance. Who was your mentor?
I have Major G. Lakshman Rao Garu, who was a lecturer, and he introduced me to personality development programs through JCs, the Junior Chamber International. And then I have Dr. Jandhyala Radhakrishna Garu, another lecturer who is very passionate for the uh, cultural programs, dramatic arts. These two people made some unbelievable impression on me. Some of the things I learned during my college days, nowadays I don't know whether anybody goes, like, for human relation skills or leadership skills, problem solving skills in the intermediate and degree. But my father sent, and Lakshman Rao Garu introduced me these programs. I still remember those concepts I learned in those personality development programs. That made a significant impact onto me. I was very shy when I joined the intermediate. I don't even know how to speak one sentence in English. When our relatives or friends come from Hyderabad and Chennai, and they very casually say, "How do you do?" Like, this kind of thing. I used to feel very inferior. I could not answer that. Actually, until I came to US, I went to, like, through English medium and all, but there was no opportunity. So there was no the level of confidence until I come back and became a lecturer. The public speaking was a challenge. But during these times, I learned public speaking is the most important trait one should have to become a influencer, a leader, and above all, a good human being, so that you can convey your thoughts to the people and impress them to take the right path.
Very true, sir. Communication, talking about communication, I would have preferred that this particular episode be in Telugu, but for the want of the fact that most of our listeners are English speaking, we speak in a common language. But Telugu is revered as one of the most beautiful languages in the world. In fact, one of the oldest languages, and the Telugu literature is beyond compare. Many other writers have been influenced by Telugu writers and arts. So today, when we say Anand Garu, people say Silicon Andhra. So you know the word Silicon Andhra. There are actually these are alliterations. Silicon is a very modern word. Andhra is a very traditional word. It's almost a combination of the old and the new, and you are the ambassador for this. Silicon Andhra has become like a global movement, and in promoting Telugu culture, you know. So you go back to your roots of promoting your culture and also Indian arts. It's not just about Telugu; it's about India per se. What inspired Anand Garu to start this initiative? I mean, it's something that is way ahead of its time. Who would have thought that I would go across the waters? I would struggle to find my feet on the ground. And then, as I'm doing this, make sure that the flag of my country and my state is planted in the hearts of everybody. What inspired you to do this? How did Silicon Andhra come about?
Until SiliconAndhra started in 2001, across the US, there are a few Telugu organizations. The focus is on entertainment. I believe there is a fine line between entertainment and culture. And for unexplained reasons, somehow Telugu people are fascinated by the movie things. Want to do a program prayer, you pick a movie song. You want to do a skit, you do that. You want to sing some songs, that is movie songs. And it got to me one day when I saw a program, Lord Krishna in jeans and leather jacket and with some earrings, a boy putting a peacock feather on his head with on a bicycle. He is roaming around girls supposed to be the gopikas. When I saw that, I have, like, the kids who are born and brought up here, is this the culture that we are going to really impress upon them? That really hurt me in a way. That really hurt me. And in Telugu, like, they say, చీకటిని తిడుతూ కూర్చోకు చేతనైతే చిన్న దీపం వెలిగించు. And we have a lot of wonderful culture, festivals, traditions and all. Until we started SiliconAndhra, it is always, there is a missing feeling. Every family says, we used to do that way, we used to do this way, we miss all that. Then somehow, for everything, there need to be a trigger point. You might have heard Dr. Garikapati Narasimha Rao Garu, Mahasahasravdhani. He came to this country, he was doing a Ashtavadhanam, and his Ashtavadhanam was shut down abruptly because a music director, cine music director's program stage need to be set. That, it was going like, I had never seen him, like, doing a Ashtavadhanam. Ashtavadhanam is so, Padyam and Ashtavadhanam are exclusive to the Telugu literature, especially Padyam has a 1,000-year-old history. Then I felt that, and I came back after that program, and somebody called, Sri Narasimha Rao Garu wants to visit our area. Would you like to arrange a program in somebody's home? Then I felt like, no. When we have such a stalwart and you have such a literary exponent, we should do something like, in a unprecedented way. That's how SiliconAndhra, took shape. Very within a month, we incorporated the organization. We hosted Narasimha Rao Gari Ashtavadhanam program. We went door to door and explained what is Ashtavadhanam, what are the different items in that. The previous Ashtavadhanam ever held, there would be about 70, 80 people. Our first program with Narasimha Rao Garu attracted 600 plus people program for a pure Telugu literary program that went for 4 hours. Nobody moved from their seats. That is the power of our language, the beauty in it, the rhythm in it, the vibrations in it. and there is no looking back after that.
Thank you so much for that thought and taking this ahead, having the dare, to do this on foreign soil. Sir, uh, Manabadi, that means our school. Buddy School, for those who are listening from other states, our school, Manabadi, is a program that has actually achieved lots in the United States. And incredible achievement for Anand Garu and his team. There are more than 85,000 students learning Telugu worldwide. And what is the biggest challenge? Imagine doing this for Andhra, for Telugus in a foreign country. What is the biggest challenge that you have faced in launching and scaling this school? And how did you overcome it, sir?
We were doing cultural programs from 2001 to 2006. In 2007, if we really want to give the cultural identity and a linguistic prowess to the next generation, teaching them their own mother's tongue is very important. So, on February 21st, 2007, on International Mother Language Day, we announced to the world that we are coming up with a program called Manabadi. And we launched the Manabadi in the Silicon Valley in the Livermore Siva Vishnu temple on the Ugadi day by doing Aksharabhyasam to 50 students with Palaka Balpam, the slate and the chalk. And in those days, every week we used to have the lessons printed and delivered to the teachers. The teachers used to have in their garages or in their apartments have the classes. The first batch has about 150 students, and I went to Bharati Vidya Bhavan Sanskrit program, and also there is the Dakshina Bharata Hindi Prachara Sabha where Pradhamika, Madhyama kind of thing. So I took a clue from them and we started Balabadi, Pravesamu, Prasunamu, Prakasamu, Pramodamu, Prabhasamu. So the 5 years program, after 3 years they get a junior certificate and another 2 years they get the senior certificate. The fundamental issue what we faced is, we are in America, why do we need Telugu here? What is the use for them? That is what from the beginning to now we face it. But now more and more people are realizing what we have done. Telugu is the only program that is recognized by the Accreditation Commission on Schools across United States and Canada. That helps for the students to get a foreign language credit. Several school districts accept SiliconAndhra Manabadi Telugu to award them a foreign language credit. Stanford accepts SiliconAndhra Manabadi foreign language credit. So it is a journey of, now we are into the 18th year. Actually, as of last year, 100,000, 1 lakh kids went through this program. This year, we have the highest number ever enrolled, 12,500 students, predominantly in US and Canada, and 12 other countries, small amount in those. Over the years, we have to overcome several issues, but Raju Chamarthi, who is the Dean of SiliconAndhra Manabadi, I think the Manabadi got into his DNA. He eats, breathes, sleeps Manabadi. He, with a wonderful team of people, built this Manabadi across the country and across the world. Today, 2,500 volunteers, without expecting anything, unpaid, they spend 40 weekends in a year to teach Telugu to these kids. There are center coordinators, there are regional coordinators, there is national core team. We have Balanandam radio karakramam, like a Telugu spelling bee, Matlata competitions. So many things on the side. Pillala Panduga, they come and present what they have learned. And we have wonderful curriculum. I need to say that my wife Santi Kuchbhotla as the Vice President of Curriculum. She works with her team to develop these outstanding books that received a lot of praise from the parents and students. When we look back today, our students are writing Satakams, our students are acting in Pandavodyoga Vidyalu, Pauranika Padyanatakams without any accent. They thrill thousands of people sitting up there, and they do poetry, lot of things like, and with all the this totally committed, dedicated Manabadi team, today we can say we made the influence. Telugu is the fastest growing foreign language in the United States today. So we played our major role in that. That is, when I look back every year, when I go to different centers, interact with the kids, of all these things, what we do, I believe the human relations are most important and the family relations. These grandkids are now able to communicate with their grandparents. They literally become emotional and cry when they go and say, Tata, Bhojananiki ra, ante. That connection happened in thousands and thousands of families.
Wow. Sir, I think what you're doing is much more than what many of us are not doing. We're not, India is going back. I think it's time for you to come back and teach us also how to get our children back on track, because, most of our children are trying to emulate the West and forgetting home. God bless you for what you have done in schooling children right in the United States. But Silicon Andhra and you, it's always, very enigmatic to go back and saying that you have skillfully integrated traditional culture and modern technology. That is your strength. For example, through the International Telugu Internet Forum, you have created a forum and Unicode fonts. I mean, it's amazing how you have done this. How important is technology, so in your life in preserving and promoting traditional languages and arts? And what do you see is the future coming up for this particular aspect of your work?
In the human evolution, if you have seen, if you go back, people use it to speak, like the sign language, whatever is, other people use it to listen. That was the first form of communication. Then they started, doing, something on the stones, and then came the paper, and then came the radio, and then came the computers. uh, and today, everything what we have in our hand is made with the silicon chip. Actually, the name came that, for generations of the evolution, one thing came is the latest technology. And Telugu language, Andhra, is actually not a language. It is mentioned first time, I think, in Aranyaka, they say more than 2000 years old. So the combination of Andhra and Silicon Andhra is 2000 years old. The legacy of the Telugu language, literature, and culture, we would like to combine that with the latest modern technology to share with the current generation and promote it to the next generation. In that process, without the language, there is no communication. Without the language, there is no culture. The language is the cornerstone. But as the times change, we should not leave the language but combine with the technology. That's why SiliconAndhra created 21 Unicode fonts. When there were no aesthetic looking fonts, we created fonts with Ashtadigaja's names. We created fonts with the Suravaram, Gurjada, Gidugu, and we created a font for the one who did the first Telugu, Prapancha Telugu Mahasabhalu Mandali. So we have done several of these fonts and gave it to Google to spread it across the world. And today, in the artificial intelligence, machine learning world, LLMs, the large language models, the chat GPT. You know what is chat GPT? It all pulls up what is there. Unfortunately, when it comes to Indian languages and especially Telugu, if there are a billion pages in English, maybe 10 billion pages in English, Telugu has only 1 million pages because there is no corpus. Under our University of SiliconAndhra School of Computing, we have taken up the project to build Telugu corpus like never before using the world-class latest innovations and technology so that my grandkids and their kids will have access to the beautiful poetry from Prabandha Kavyas to Vishwanatha Satyanarayana Gari Ramayana Kalparvaksham, Veyi Padagalu, Sri Sri Mahaprasthanam. Otherwise, they will be left out. They will be left out. Not many people will know in another 50 years these stalwarts existed in Telugu. So that is the mission. We want to take the power of the Telugu heritage and combine with the latest technology and serve it to the world to preserve it.
I come to the central theme of what I find is the most important contribution that Anand Garu will give to the world. Um, you've explained so beautifully. If you take a plate of chips with ketchup, silicon has the ketchup has been avakai for us, or gongura pachadi. Andhra is changing the face of the way we think of India, creating the first university in the United States dedicated to Indian art, language, and values was a monumental achievement. I think that is what people will always remember as the one big contribution that Anand Garu has given to us. But these key steps did not come without trouble. How did this idea come, and what are the challenges you faced in setting up the first ever university in the United States dedicated to Indian art?
As per the available records, the Indian immigrants first landed in the San Francisco port on a boat.
Oh,
In these 123 years, Indians have accomplished several great things in every field. In every field, we have our people established billion-dollar companies to biryani places, beauty salons, but somehow we have never established a higher education institution. More than a century ago, our brothers, Jewish community, saw the importance of higher education. They established schools like Stanford's and Harvard's and Wharton's and all. Once upon a time, India was the Vishwa Guru. And now the largest number of Indians migrate to US to study. Somewhere we lost our power being that Vishwaguru. Now again, the governments are putting some emphasis on that. There is a new education policy that is coming up, into vogue now. That's when I decided we need to have, with a strong Indian diaspora in this country, we need to have a world-class university. So that's how this university idea came around a dining table in 2011. In
wow.
2000, we didn't know how to know anything about the university. We're a cultural community organization. In this country, to establish a university, it is a Herculean task. It's a big challenge. So by the time we learned, it took 2 years to understand. In 2013, we applied for California state approval. They took 3 years to approve it. We received the approval in 2016 with permission to start only 2 departments. And we started with the master's diploma and certificate in Carnatic music and Kuchipudi. Outside India, on this planet Earth, this is the first school to offer graduate programs in Indian classical music and dance. We cannot add more departments until we get the accreditation. The accreditation is huge challenge. And nobody ever heard even how to pronounce Kuchipudi or Karnataka. And the accreditation committee people came. But in a record time of 4 years, we received the VASC Senior College and University Commission accreditation. It is the same accreditation what Stanford or UCLA or UC Berkeley or San Jose State has. All the universities on the West Coast have the same accreditation. Today, University of SiliconAndhra is a mainstream American university where the degrees are given from an accredited university. We have 6 graduation ceremonies. Today we have 8 master's programs. After the Carnatic music on Kuchipudi, we added Hindustani music, we added Bharatanatyam, we added Sanskrit, we added Telugu, and also the computer science with the artificial intelligence specialization. We have started School of Ayurveda and Natural Medicine, and we have started School of Yogic Sciences. The biggest dream working my life's ambition is to start School of Medicine MD program. Once hope to have it by 2027. If we can do that outside India, outside Banaras Hindu University, this university will be the first integrative healthcare, allopathy, Ayurveda, natural medicine, yoga. In a way, it's body, mind, soul we would like to bring in. In the current generations going through the mental stress and so many emotional issues, the education need to change. We would like to provide that kind of holistic education through this university. Hope God blesses us and community supports to make that thing happen.
Anindaru, you inspired me so much with your thoughts, and this particular question you answered with the passion of a tiger. You're amazing. But I wanted to ask you, this program is about the Desi Dynamos. The diaspora, Indian diaspora, leads all the other migrant groups. In fact, the largest group of migrants into the US. How did it's a land of opportunity. Many of us and our children have always wanted to study here or be here. It's a beautiful land of opportunity. The US has opened its arms to many of us. uh, I want you to tell me, as a young boy from Andhra Pradesh, India, how was the experience of being with American brothers and sisters, and how many American students actually join your university and partake of your vision?
It is a very, very beautiful journey, very, very stressful journey. There were nights where almost like crying thing. The future is bleak. I was fast tracking in American corporate world. I can, by the age of 30, I was the country head for a Fortune 100 company, Kimberly Clark. And then I came to Silicon Valley, a company that was acquired by Yahoo. So I was like, in a very fancy, lucrative financially thing. But then there was a calling. I felt that I'm the chosen one. In those days, somebody mentioned me. Everyone admires Swami Vivekananda and quotes him, takes inspiration, but they don't want their kid to become a Swami Vivekananda. If the next door kid becomes Swami Vivekananda, that's fine. Then I said, there are millions of successful entrepreneurs and all like who do job. So I have to give up completely my corporate life, and that didn't serve my family well. I need to tell, even today, I live in a small rented town home after 37 years. People think, but my social capital, the what I have, I helped literally hundreds of thousands of people uh, in different ways. That is that gives me immense satisfaction. So when I look back, there were many heartburns, insults, people putting you down and talking bad behind your back, and it went to an extreme extent for a character assassination few years ago. These days, that character assassination is a pretty pastime, a hobby for some people, and media's also survive on that. But then I realized, if I feel bad about those, then I should be feeling uh, proud about what it is. It is just you do your duty without expecting anything. In organization, we don't use our titles. It is a family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam or Jagamanta Telugu Kutumbam. With that thing, there would be people who will, completely discredit you, completely criticize you without any valid reason. But in the end, when I look back in these 23 years, running 24, what we have accomplished as a global family, the people who criticized us haven't done even an iota of that. So that is a beautiful feeling. And when we see all these kids who joined Manabadi, they have graduated from Stanford's, Harvard's, Carnegie Mellon's, beautiful schools. Several of them are engineers, like business entrepreneurs. They still come and call me Anand Mama. So there's a beauty in that. I enjoy that, and hope this uh, organization, this philosophy will be continued for by future generations.
Thank you, sir. There is a saying, when the full moon rises, all the dogs will bark, will cry. So, when there is something happening that is sensationally different, when the tide rises to the top and the heroes are born, people will always wonder, like dogs, what these people are about. So never wonder, because you know your path is right, and your vision has been very clear. So for all those who might be watching, who have some time wondered why this gentleman did what he did, here's the moment for you to feel proud of this brother. He has done something for you and for me. It's not just about what you did in the US. You led initiatives to the adoption of the Kuchipudi village. That was my first connect with you. In fact, one of your friends from the dance academies, she told me about you. She said, "Ma'am, come to Kuchipudi and meet this great man." And this was many years ago. You building the Sanjeevani Hospital, which directly benefits communities in need. And what drives you, sir? Your commitment to social entrepreneurship and humanitarian causes. And how do you choose projects that you undertake? That you've taken over so many things, but how do you choose which is worth your attention?
So the Kuchipudi, um, we adopted that village. Kuchipudi has 600 years heritage. The Kuchipudi Bhagavatas who perpetuated the Kuchipudi art form still live there. Several families live there. But the village was in a very bad shape. Like there are no roads. So we wanted to adopt that village, some proper roads, and build the individual septic latrines, improve the school. We went with some small village development kind of activity. When we were doing that, initially people don't trust us, because nowadays if you don't have something in it, you don't do good stuff. People came to that firm conclusion. So they were thinking, why the heck this guy is coming, or this organization is coming and doing that. Eventually we gained the confidence of those people, and then some families came and said, can you put us here a dispensary where a doctor could come regularly, at least give some prescription. We don't have somebody here. And if something like a nursing home with 1 or 2 beds, if you can do that, they said that it would really help, because in critical times we have to go to Vijayawada. uh, in If there is an emergency in the midnight, forget about an ambulance, it was very difficult to get even a auto rickshaw there, so they used to lose their loved ones. That touched me. For me, always the philosophy is, Alpachintanam papakaranam. Thinking small is a sin and think big. So when they said that, looking at very quickly, there is a huge need uh, in the villages, and decided to go with a 200-bed multi-specialty hospital. If you ask me what made me to think to that, on the day when we laid the foundation stone, the money we have in SiliconAndhra account was about less than 4 lakhs. And to build that, it needs at least a 50 crores. You know the difference between 50 crores and 4 lakhs. And we built it in 20 months sharp. We announced on March 27th, 2017, we will inaugurate this hospital on Vijayadashmi Day, October 18, 2018. And we kept our word and we inaugurated that. In the last 6 years, hundreds of lives, brain stroke, heart attack, accidents, snake bites, suicide attempts. Us being there in the golden hour, we saved hundreds of lives, treated thousands of patients, and so many hundreds of babies are brought into this world in the most hygienic environment without charging a penny from those hardworking rural underserved women. So there is immense satisfaction. We went through, again, have to walk through the fire, still walk through the fire today. The challenges of running a hospital 24 by 7 is not an easy thing, but those lives that were saved by Sanjeevani, I may never see them, they may never know me, but I know that they are spending good time with their loved ones. That is such a beautiful feeling for me and for the entire team. I have one Hanumakumar Jonnalagadda, who is an administrative officer, and one Prakash Nimmagadda, who is a patient relationship manager, and wonderful doctors. They support that. Uh, Recently, Sai Arogya came to partner. We are still exploring how that partnership would evolve to support these rural, underserved villagers.
Well, you managed to influence the global Telugu diaspora, that is for sure, and also local communities in India. See, it's not just about the United States. You manage to balance that, back home and back home. Both are your homes now. So, how do you manage to, for there are many people who want to do this. We think about it, dream about it, but it looks very far fetched. So, what is your advice for others who are trying to create both local and international impact? Is there anything that there are some points that you can give them pointers how they can do this?
It is like growing a small plant. Today, in the community, we earned respect and credibility. If SiliconAndhra takes up something, they will make it happen. We haven't dropped the balls, especially on very big projects. We always delivered. We stretch every rupee and every dollar, and we never garner for personal grandiozation. And if you subscribe to the cause and you are a mere instrumental to make that thing happen, it is not just by virtue of your greatness it happened. You bringing together that, community will see through that, and then they come forward to see that. And there would always be roadblocks, and there would be a lot of hurdles, bureaucracy, everything. If things come easy, I believe that then
It's
the
not
world
worth
doesn't
making
need
it.
us. It's only when you have the challenges, how to overcome. So that's why I always say we need to pray. అడ్డంకులు అవరోధాలు రాకుండా కాదు, వచ్చిన వాటిని అధిగమించే శక్తి నీవు స్వామి అని we need to pray that. So I believe very strongly there would be occasions where you feel that entire world is slipping out of your hands, and then somebody pours more oil into that to make sure it slips. But that little fire in the belly and the confidence in the heart pulls it. So
The way you speak, Anand Garu, you think in Telugu first. The sayings that you have, they're all like what old mother sayings. They sound so beautiful when you say it in English, but the origin of those sayings are all Telugu. So all those who have listened to their mothers, irrespective of which language, Indian language, they're full of these quotes that can help us to look through. And I think Anand Garu, you make this interview so interesting by giving us your own, two bits. It's beautiful. But your projects, your mega projects, whether it's about healthcare or education or about art and architecture and culture, they have a profound social impact. Every one of your projects has social impact. How important do you believe that philanthropy is leadership? Because how can leaders in the corporate world, and when the corporate world now people have money, you have to give certain amount of your earnings back. So how can we ask our corporate brothers and sisters to look at non-profit sectors like yours? How do we help the corporates and non-profit sectors to integrate social good into their missions? It's very important that because good projects like need hand and holding. So this is the time for us to remind our corporate brothers and sisters what maybe spending their money in other things. I think there are some wonderful things going on, sir. So how important is leadership in philanthropy important for you?
Very, very, very important. All these projects that have been completed are still going on happened because of wonderful philanthropists, donors, in kind and in money. Compared to the Westerners, Indians still need to adapt to donate more, to give back to the community. That still holds them back, uh, maybe because they went through hardships and they wanted to really save and give to the next generation. In India, up to some extent, that may be true. In America, your kids don't need your money. But still, here also, the Indian diaspora still could come forward more to donate. In Indian corporate sphere, now the government made the rule they need to give 2% for CSR activities, but still that need to be streamlined. Some respectable corporations really do that, and some other corporations do it, but they misuse it in a way. Hopefully in the near future things would improve so that these kind of projects will come to fruition, come to existence, and sustain over the long run.
Yes, sir. I really wish those who are watching us, if you have that extra money in your pocket, give it here. This is a good cause, and I can vouch for it. So, given your incredible journey from being that little boy who never went to regular school, who learned the Vedas and rituals on the insistence of a father who knew what he was shaping, to a lecturer in a university, to this great visionary icon, a global leader, you have made it possible in one lifetime. And I believe that the last 1 hour has been the most fruitful one for me, Meenamma, on the diaspora discussions. I think I have met a legend. And as you leave your footprints on the sands of times, what is your advice to future leaders, to those who will try, it's very difficult to fit into your shoes? And what is the advice you give to little children back home who look at just coming and, exploiting another country, not giving back what they have learned in their cradles? What is your advice, sir?
Take pride in your heritage. Take pride whoever you are. Irrespective of your skin color, you are what you are. Don't try to imitate or mimic somebody. Swadharmo nidhana sreya. Believe in your own dharma. Today, world is full of global citizens. There are any more limited to one race, one culture, one creed. We need to know how to imbibe the globalization, but at the same time keeping your own culture intact. And once you have that self confidence, it helps you immensely, whatever the role you are in. and don't expect anything to be a beautiful, uh, fair journey in this world. There would be challenges. The whole world will be standing against sometimes. Face it, believe in yourself. In Telugu, I always say, అసాధ్యాలను సుసాధ్యాలు చేయటం మాత్రమే మనం రాసే అధ్యాయాల్లో అక్షరాలుగా ఉండాలి. సో మేకింగ్ ద ఇంపాసిబుల్ పాసిబుల్ should be the letters in the chapters we write. Our life is very limited. We also have a, just like any other medicine, have an expiration date. Only thing is we don't know that expiry date. While we are here, let's do good to us, to our family, to the community, and to the world.
That's wonderful. When I told some people, people in my group, that I was going to be talking to you, I never imagined. I thought, okay, the diaspora will react, but there were people in the country, and not necessarily Telugus, who reacted. They checked on you and got back with, ma'am, I would love to ask Anand Garu this question. So we have a small set of questions. So we have selected a few from many. And I would request Uzwal Madhav, who produces the show from the Blue Tick, to kindly come in, Uzwal. And Uzwal, by now you must have selected a few questions. Go ahead.
Uh, Hi. Yes, I did. I did select a few questions, but many of them have been so wonderfully answered during the last 1 hour. So I will go and reduce the number of questions because, dear listeners, you have already got your answer with such wonderful guidance and words of wisdom. So I will take two questions at this point of time, which are very, very interesting questions. The first question is that, in today's time, in the time of rat race, when we start our journey in the corporate world, we move fast, we move ahead, and we tend to forget our roots at any given point of time, because in the process of moving ahead we forget where we come from. So in a time where everything is changing, everything is moving so fast, how to balance life? You have been one great example for that, and so kindly guide us that what are the principles that we need to take up in order to balance this life, because when it comes to remembering the culture, remembering the heritage, and remembering the roots, what are the things that you suggest to a youngster who is moving in the new direction, in the rat race right at this point of time?
I strongly believe anchoring in your own culture is the first fundamental thing that gives the self confidence to a youngster. If you look at it, our brothers who came from Africa more than 300 years ago, they're still called blacks or African Americans. And our brothers and sisters who came from South, they're known as Hispanic Americans. Even though you're born and brought up here after two, three generations, you will still be called Indian American. Then why do you want to mimic something that you are not? So if you have that confidence and openly take pride in what it is, that is what this country gives. I wear dhoti and go to the meetings. They respect me. So once we have that, there is no other country that, we can build temples, we can build mosques, we can build churches, anything what we want, we can do this thing. So when this country gives you such a wonderful opportunity for cultural harmony, and today the world is full of talking about cultural pluralism, and we need to keep our roots, celebrate our roots. That automatically gives you, even in the rat race, when you want to get the peace of mind, when you want to get some solace, that is where you come back. That is where you come back. And once you know what is that place, you will be hugely successful in balancing the family life, professional life, the spiritual life, the community, all those four quadrants. will fall in place. That's what I strongly believe.
Thank you, sir. I think coming back to find solace, such wonderfully said. I mean, I really resonate to that thought. We have another one question, uh, sir. Your journey of preserving the language and making taking pride in your state, Andhra, and the Telugu language has been known to everybody right now. What advice would you like to give to someone who wants to start a similar initiative and comes from a different cultural and linguistic community? Because India is full of other languages, multiple languages. One who wants to do similar thing like you, but from a different language and different community. What are the advices that you would like to give so that he can get prepared and start something like you with your inspiration?
We have been sharing the kind of a blueprint what we went through, and telling them what the pitfalls to avoid. We speak with our friends from Kannada community. We speak with our friends from Tamil community, and some other languages are now showing interest how you could, like, scale up. There are small initiatives. One thing is scaling up is very important, that we learned that how to involve thousands of families a part of this journey. We have been sharing and will love to share with anybody who is interested to replicate this model.
That's so inspiring and amazing. Actually, everyone who's listening, they can always connect with Sir and get to the organization and write to them, and they will definitely share the blueprint. And it's such inspiring that in more and more similar organizations from different corners of India and also from any other part of the world, if they wanted to do any language, can also bring and raise the flag high in the sky of United States or any part of the world and take pride in themselves. So I think it's amazing. Thank you so much, sir. It's been wonderful listening to you. And Meenakshi, over to you. I'll take it back.
Thank you, Ujjwal ji, for staying up. It's getting close to midnight there, but means a lot. Um,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sir, as we are talking, there are lots of people writing in. We want more about the school, my school, Manabadi. So I would request Rajagaru to join me on my next chat soon. And it'll be very inspiring because you opened the talk in such a beautiful way about the most meaningful purpose behind setting up a Telugu school in a foreign land. So the road is dusty, dark, and deep, and I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. This famous lines from a great poet is actually for people like you who have done so much and yet are on the path, who have achieved so much but don't stop to clap for themselves, who know the road is still ahead. The only way for them to escape their own aspirations, their own soul is to travel. And you are traveling this path so beautifully, Anand Garu. It is such an honor to have you with me. And I'm sure that in the days to come, when the government of India, when the government of United States looks back, hopefully at the many things you've done and maybe this interview, they will say that once upon a time there was this Messiah of God who came down to planet Earth and made a difference because in everything you do, there is a spiritual leaning. You cannot do this without the great guidance of a great spiritual supreme being. And I pray for you, your family, all the students, your volunteers, the people who admire and adore you, the people who have thrown stones at you and have listened to what we have said today and decided that they would take it back and help you to grow as a great human being. Thank you for being great Indian first and a global citizen next. It was
Thank,
wonderful, sir. And in ending this conversation, I would like to say Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, and Namaskaram.
Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Yes.
Namaskar.